Incentives matter. This basic postulate of economics explains how changes in market prices alter incentives in a manner that works to coordinate the actions of buyers and sellers. If buyers want to purchase more of an item than producers are willing or able to sell, there is a shortage. Consumers will bid up prices to incentivize sellers to produce more. As the price increases, sellers are incentivized to provide more of the item, causing quantities supplied to increase. According to Ludwig von Mises, interpersonal exchange, private ownership of the means of production, entrepreneurship, and private initiative guide the actions, interactions, and transactions of consumers and producers. Eventually, a higher price will bring the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied into balance. At that point, the price stabilizes. Economists call this market equilibrium. Graphically, market equilibrium is represented at the point where the demand and the supply curves intersect. X marks the spot. At the equilibrium price, quantity demanded equals quantity supplied, and there is no longer a shortage of the product. What happens if it starts out the other way? If sellers want to supply more, then the buyers are willing to purchase at a price unacceptable to consumers in light of their subjective preferences. Consumers are the bosses. They say no to the purchase. Since producers cannot force consumers to purchase anything, they lower prices with the hope of eliminating their unplanned surplus where quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded. Producers simply have to consider their surplus predicament and decide accordingly. Sellers incentivize consumers to increase the number of items purchased by lowering price. Consumers who value the product at the lower price will buy and others will not. If a surplus remains, some consumers will cut price even more to try to attract some more people to buy. As long as there is no outside interference, price will continue to adjust as long as quantity demanded by consumers is not in balance with the quantity supplied by producers. When quantity demanded matches quantity supplied, there is no further pressure for a price change. The surplus is gone. Through fiscal and monetary policy, and through government rules and regulations, government can intervene and set prices, wage rates, interest rates, and exchange rates. In the U.S., government interventionists advocate for price control in order to achieve goals including the protection of consumers from greedy and immoral capitalists who want to exploit them, save struggling businesses from foreign competition, bump up low-skilled wages, and provide health care and higher education to everyone. In other words, government establishes price controls to address the perceived unmet needs of well-organized groups of people. One of the most common perceptions is that government officials and politicians are benevolent and that they, unlike the individuals living in households and operating businesses, do not have to make trade-offs when deciding to support one program at the expense of another. Bottom line, everyone lives in a world of scarcity, and therefore, everyone has to make trade-offs. Individuals living in households and operating businesses are more careful about allocating their private resources than government officials. They personally reap the benefits of their successes and bear the cost of their mistakes. Hence, they are incentivized to build on their successes, correct mistakes, address inefficiencies, and close gaps to improve circumstances. In free markets, businesses and consumers adjust prices to address demand and supply imbalances, and the market returns to an equilibrium price. Government officials and politicians face a very different set of incentives. In the world of government, there is no price signal mechanism to guide the government's use of resources. Unless constitutionally restricted, government agents pursue what promises to strengthen their base of supporters, increase the likelihood of getting reelected, and succeeds in securing political contributions. In pursuit of these political interests, government can choose policies and programs without consideration for efficient and effective use of scarce resources.